I'm Stephanie.
I'm Thet.
I'm Min.
And I'm Taylor.
And we present to you the Tundra biome. Fun facts. The tundra covers about 20% of the earth. It has about 400 varieties of flowers, but only 48 animal species. During the summer, there's daylight for 24 hours. During the winter, there's less than 6 hours of daylight per day. The average yearly precipitation is usually less than 15 inches. The tundra is the world's youngest biome. Continued. The word tundra comes from the Finnish word tunturia, which means treeless land. Animal populations fluctuate throughout the seasons in the tundra biome. Some animals opt to hibernate during the winter and others migrate to warmer temperatures. Because of the extreme temperatures, most organisms get their nutrients from the decaying of dead organic material. The tundra biome is considered a carbon dioxide sink because it stores more carbon dioxide than it gives off. The summer in tundra biome has only 6 weeks. It is covered by a frozen layer of soil. And the tundra biome is the most important role in keeping temperature of global at a stable place.
The tundra's location around the world include Alaska, northern Canada, Greenland, parts of Scandinavia, northern Europe, and Asia, such as Russia. Oh, and it does not include the Antarctica. It's the northern part of the earth. The geography for the tundra, it's one of the harshest of the biomes due to it being extremely dry, cold, and it is constantly windy. It is flat and featureless, such as subtle hills, and it includes wetlands and bogs, which are kind of like swamps. And like Stephanie said before, there is ice permanently in the soil. So it's really hard soil because it's got ice in it. So that is called permafrost.
The temperatures in the tundra is very cold. The average temperature in the winter is around negative 34 Celsius and all negative 30 Fahrenheit. And the average summer temperature is around 3 to 12 Celsius and all 37 to 54 Fahrenheit. And the average annual temperature is around negative 18 Fahrenheit or negative 27 Celsius. And the temperature can get up to 54 degrees Fahrenheit or 12 degrees Celsius, but it can get as cold as 37 Fahrenheit. And precipitation is very dry, like the desert. It can get up to 20 centimeters of inches of snow each year. Okay. And most of the participation is snow participation.
Okay, so next we have animals. Some animals in the tundra include the Arctic fox, the caribou, ermine, grizzly bear, harlequin duck, musk ox, polar bear, and snowy owl. Some plants in the tundra include Arctic moss, Arctic willow, bearberry, caribou moss, diamond leaf willow, Labrador tea, pasque flower, and tuft saffrage.
In the tundra, there are predator and prey relationships, just like in any other biome of the world. Some examples of the predator and prey relationships include the wolves and caribou, the polar bears and Arctic foxes, and the herbivores eating plants. The wolves eat caribou, which then transfer their energy over to the wolves. The caribou get their energy from the plants that they eat. Polar bears hunt down Arctic foxes that receive their energy from smaller organisms that live in the tundra. And the herbivores eat plants, which then transfer their energy that they receive through photosynthesis. In the tundra, there are, and all the other biomes in the world, there are things known as keystone species. Keystone species, also on the worksheet,
Where you need to write the definition.
where you need to write the definition, are species whose presence and role within an ecosystem have a disproportionate effect on other organisms within the system. So this basically means that these organisms hold a place within the ecosystem they live in, and without them, the ecosystem would either fall out of balance or just completely fail. Some of the keystone species include primary and secondary consumers. So primary consumers would be the American picas, musk oxen, caribou, lemmings, and Arctic hares. Secondary consumers include Arctic foxes, brown bears, Arctic wolves, snowy owls, and polar bears.
Symbiosis in the tundra. The symbiosis in the tundra include relationships such as mutualism, parasitism, and commensalism. What is symbiosis? Symbiosis is the living together of two dissimilar organisms. In the first picture you see, to the far left, there is a warthog with a mongoose. And in the second image you see, there is the clownfish interacting with the sea anemone. And in the last image you see there is the water buffalo with the oxpecker. The first form of symbiosis is mutualism. Mutualism, this is where you need to write down a definition right now. Mutualism is a relationship between two species of organisms in which both benefit from the association. An example of mutualism is the lichen. Lichen are made of two organisms, fungus and alga. Basically, the algal cells in the fungus come together, and the algal cells photosynthesize and give sugars and oxygen to the fungus. And in return, the fungus provides protection, water, and salts for the small algal cells. So it's kind of like they work together to survive, and they benefit both species, as I said before.
Next up, the next form of symbiosis is parasitism. This is usually a relationship between organisms in which only one of the organisms will benefit from it, and that organism in particular is the parasite. And parasites are usually organisms that like to invade a host and live off of what they provide. Such an example would be the caribou and the tapeworm, where the tapeworm will live inside of the caribou, and all the nutrients and food that the caribou consumes will not go to it at all, and it will all go to the tapeworm, thus causing the caribou to eventually die or get extremely sick. The next form of symbiosis is commensalism. This is when the organisms living with, on, or in another without injury to either of them. This basically means that the organisms will be affected by one another, but not really directly or in a positive or negative way. Example would be the bear and ground caribou and Arctic fox. This is when the caribou will walk around in the Arctic eating. This is when the caribou will try to find lichen underneath the soil, and when it tries to get to the lichen under the soil, it will dig under the snow, and thus revealing the subnivean mammals will be unearthed. And then once these subnivean animals are unearthed, the Arctic foxes will hunt these animals, thus providing them with food.
Human influence in the tundra includes positive and negative. And for positive, the region has provided room for oils and gases, which created many jobs and industry in the region. Which the negative effect is that climate changes because of the drilling and the toxic waste that those industries have created. And another positive thing is that there has been more learned about the Arctic and its biodiversity in recent years, and it has created awareness in the world about its biodiversity and fragile natures. Thank you for watching. And this is excited.
Nice.
Wait, are you supposed to talk about the thing?
This is our excited.
You should have put the works cited at the final.
Thank you for watching. Again.
Thanks for watching. Let's do the whole High School Musical thing. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thanks for watching. Stephanie.
Party people.
Stephanie.
Okay.
Did you say this part, man?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
He combined the two.
Okay. 3,
Okay, 2, 1.
Thanks for watching. gotta say we're really up.
I think that's 13, 11 minutes. We can.
It's about 12 minutes. I'm gonna say 12. Water buffalo with the I think it's hog peckers.
No, oxpecker.
Oxpecker. I'm sorry, it's oxpecker. Or lichen. I like to say lichen, but Thet over here likes to say lichen, so I'm gonna say lichen. Anyways, alga. I think it's algae, but algal. Let's just go.
Algal.
Let's go with algal cells.
And what's the word? Eating what? This is probably a good time to cut it out. Covering the ground.
Subnivian mammals.
No.
Stephanie.
I'm Thet.
I'm Min.
And I'm Taylor.
And we are presenting.
Dang it, Stephanie.
We present to you
Imagine
the
how we
Tundra
feel.
Biome.
It's gonna be the second slide.
I didn't even
Oh
hear
my
that.
gosh. Okay.
I'm Min.
I'm Taylor.
I'm so bad at this.
I see you walking over frozen soil called permafrost. I'm like, that's tundra. It's got a flat terrain resulting in poor drainage places because that's tundra. You know in summertime thin layered topsoil thaws, creating pools and marshes. Although it's cold and dark within the year, it still has some sun because that's tundra.
You'll find the tundra below the polar seas in the northern hemisphere. If you like the rain, be disappointed, 'cause it's the precipitation. The summer's all warm, oh, but I can't say the same about winter. Consider yourself warned, beware frostbite.
I see you walking over frozen soil called permafrost. I'm like, that's tundra. It's got a flat terrain resulting in poor drainage places because that's tundra. You know in summertime thin layered topsoil thaws, creating pools and marshes. Although it's cold and dark within the year, it still has some sun because that's tundra. Now I know there's lots of caribou, lemmings, fox, and musket wolves. Some try to stay, and others migrate to places far away from cold, with hundreds of birds that migrate to the Arctic. Oh, I've got some news for you, babe. I really hate birds. I see you walking over frozen soil called permafrost. I'm like, that's tundra. It's got a flat terrain resulting in poor drainage places because that's tundra. You know in summertime thin layered topsoil thaws, creating pools and marshes. Although it's cold and dark within the year, it still has some sun because that's tundra.